Hey guys, I'm Kyrist. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Be Brave, Be Kind, Create. Um, Today I'm going to be talking you through some tips that have helped me throughout the years, giving you a bit of insight into my musical history, like where I started up until how I got to here now. Quite a journey, I can tell you that. Um, yeah, and then I guess I'll be giving you some production tips. Just me talking, no like sharing my screen or anything like that. So yeah. Also how to promote yourself and how to approach labels, things like that, because I feel like that's something that needs to be addressed. Um, yeah, and just things from like a label perspective. So yeah, just want to apologise as well if you can hear my neighbours because unfortunately my studio is in my house, so I have to deal with screaming kids every now and again, which is kind of annoying when I'm trying to work on music, but it is what it is. So yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, I started DJing professionally. I say professionally, but in a proper club environment when I was about 19, quite a long time ago. So yeah, I think my first gig was actually on New Year's Eve, so like no pressure or anything. It was actually probably one of the most nervous times I've ever felt in my whole life, and also playing vinyl, which didn't help because obviously my hands were like shaky the whole time, but I think I did alright, so it was all good. Early influences probably came from going out a fair bit in London, and going to Renegade Hardware, especially in Vauxhall. They were some really good times. Like I saw some of the best sets I've ever seen from my favourite DJs. Going to uni in London definitely helped that. I was able to go out to clubs and sort of be a little bit brash and like introduce myself to promoters if I figured out who they were. And just like say that I'm a DJ as well, and I'm looking for some DJ sets if they had any going. So that's the first point I want to come to. If you're a DJ and you're just starting out, don't be afraid to approach people at raves and stuff. Ask the other DJs like who's the promoter for tonight. Just go up to them and just be honest. Just say like you're looking for some shows to play at, just want some experience and you're happy to play for free or for some drinks or something, and I can probably more or less guarantee that it will work out and you will be able to get a set. If you like put yourself on the line, just say listen, like I really want to do this for you, then yeah, I think most promoters will let you come on board really with the team. Another good thing to be mindful of is when you're putting a set together, listen to DJs that you like watching out live, or DJs you appreciate their mixes and stuff. Listen to the transitions they use, maybe the effects and stuff. If you have the equipment available, then definitely try out everything you've got. And yeah, just don't try and do too much before you know how to do it, kind of thing. There's nothing worse than trying to see someone mix on 3 or 4 decks and they don't know how to. Keep it simple and make sure your transitions and blends are like smooth and nice and all that stuff. Because I come from a background of like using vinyl and CDs. We never really had any cue points or anything to speed up the process of mixing. So you had to start every tune right from the beginning, even if there's no beat, which makes it really difficult. It's a lot easier now in terms of putting your set together because you have things like Record Box, which is great. I've used it for years. When putting sets together, it's just so easy. Drag and drop your tunes in, create some playlists, and then you can start adding cue points to make everything a bit quicker when you're playing out live, so that's good. Definitely look into setting cue points and hot cues and stuff like that. It's definitely beneficial. Find tracks that complement each other. So when you look in your Record Box library everything will be sorted by key. So I would definitely recommend mixing in key, so you can like transition between going from one key to another key and it not sounding like clashy. But I mean, that's really important if you're mixing liquid, not so much if you're mixing like darker stuff and whatever, because you mainly just got sub bass to contend with. But if there's a lot of melody in the tracks, then you definitely want to be mindful of making it flow a little bit. Don't pay attention to what everyone else does, because you know there's definitely really cool creative ways of mixing, and you don't need to play the newest tunes all the time. I actually think I appreciate sets or DJs that have done a little bit of digging and they found some absolute gems that I've forgotten about from, I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago, 15 years ago or something. It makes you just go, oh wow, yeah, I forgot about that tune. So they're the sets that I really enjoy, you know, when you mix like new tunes with old tunes, that seamless blend of the both of them. Make sure you play your set accordingly with the time of night that you're DJing. So if you're starting the event and you're playing at 9 till 10, for example, you don't want to be playing tunes like Dead Limit or something like that. That's just way too high energy for that time of night, because one, there's probably not going to be a lot of people there and you want them to sort of ease into the setting and, you know, have a little dance, but you don't want to go too hard too early, basically. So I actually think that's one of the hardest sets you can play, beginning slot. Like, I've had to do that so many times and I feel like I put way more effort into planning those sets than any other sets. If the promoter offers to pay you in drinks, make sure you don't get too drunk. I mean, it goes without saying, but there's been a few times where it's kind of happened to me, but later on in my career, you know, I never really drank that much in the early stages, I think because I was really conscious of it. So I didn't really let myself get carried away, but I know so many people that do get carried away, and I mean, it's funny to look at, but you kind of think, well, you've sort of ruined it for yourself. So yeah, another tip, just don't go in too hard with the alcohol. I mean, have a few if it will settle your nerves. I'm quite fortunate to say that I don't really need to have a couple of drinks before I go on stage now. I used to, but I think it's, for me anyway, it's kind of like a placebo. Like, I don't really need it to go out and play a good set. Like, I've tried it both ways. There's been times where I haven't drunk at all. It's not essential. And also, I mean, it leads to bad habits as well. Like, you can develop like drinking problems and stuff and addictions, and that's a whole other topic that I could go into, but I won't for this video. And don't feel like because everyone else is getting on it that you have to as well. So just look after yourself and your health and well-being and all that stuff. Okay, moving on to production. So I started producing in about, I think it was around 2009 or 10, so like 11 years ago, and I learned how to write drum and bass from my friend that went to the same college as me. I had an interest in it, but I didn't really know how to put tracks together, so I needed somebody to show me like where you put the kick, where you put the snare, you know, the sequencing of it all. And he was able to do that and just show me the ropes and stuff, which was great. Big up Samad if you watch him. So from there, I just went on to sort of try and develop my own sound, figure out how synthesizers worked, and obviously I was at college at the same time, so learning music technology. So I was in the right place to sort of know how to use like LFOs and synths and compressors and limiters, because we got taught about that every day, so I knew what I was doing. I think shortly after that, I had one of my first releases. oh god, I can't even remember what year it was, but it was with this label called Sirens, which was meant to be like a female-only label. They had this intention of getting women out there into the musical world, but I feel like now it could be seen as like a little bit gimmicky to just have only women on the label, just to make us different when we don't need to be. But anyway, I'm grateful for the opportunity anyway. And so yeah, this was the first release I ever had. I don't even know if it's online. It might be on YouTube somewhere, but if you want to look it up, the track was called Revolt. It's like a white and purple artwork thing. And I was quite lucky enough to have Gremlins and Genotype do 2 remixes as well, which turned out amazing. And I don't think I'd even met these guys yet. And obviously being a fan for years, I was like, oh my God, this is just insane. I can't believe these 2 legends have remixed my music. This is so cool. So yeah, super grateful for that. Definitely going out and playing shows in London really helped me in terms of networking, talking to other producers and getting their email addresses and sending music about. And that's definitely what you should do as well. If you can, just go to raves. I know some people get a bit weird about giving their information out or even like talking to fans and stuff, but I have no problem whatsoever with talking to people that want to chat to me. So yeah, just ask for email addresses. And I mean, feedback is so crucial in the early stages of your career, and even now, like I ask people that I respect and want their opinion. I ask them for feedback even now. So don't be afraid to send your music out to people and get feedback on just like how to improve it, what areas you feel are lacking, that are a bit weak, and also reference your track. So A/B it with something that maybe sounds a little bit similar, like the drum pattern is kind of the same, or there's some sounds in it that you want to achieve, like the loudness especially. Like that's how I use referencing, just for loudness. Obviously I don't try and copy anyone else's sounds, try and do my own, but yeah, I just reference for loudness. And then you have to remember as well, like don't get yourself down, because these tunes will be mastered to like a high professional level. So if they're not loud enough, then don't worry. Like if it's almost there, then that's cool. You know, you can bring down the mastered track maybe a couple of decibels and then play yours at the same time. And if it's roughly the same, then you know that it's going to stand up to something you play in a club. So I put out this question on Facebook and Instagram, just saying that I was going to be doing some recording and what topics would you like me to cover? And somebody said, how do you turn a loop into a song? Now that's really hard. Sometimes I think when you're used to just building really short loops and then getting fed up and thinking, oh, this is crap, like I don't want to carry on with this. What I always do in this scenario is, you know, you have to start off with a loop. There's no 2 ways about it. And I usually start with the drums and then move on to basses and then add some effects. And usually what will spark my interest is like a sound that I'll hear like in a sample pack or a preset in the synth. And there's nothing wrong with using samples or presets or whatever. Like as long as you make it your own from that, then that's fine. You know, if you've done something, if you've done some manipulation somewhere down the line to that sound, then it's cool. You know, maybe just do a bit more digging and get some sample packs that are from different genres. If you're making drum and bass, grab some like dubstep sample packs or techno or something like that, you know, because then you'll be a bit different to everybody else. Extend the loop out another like 32 bars and then add more drums, take some drums away. You can add some effects, take some effects away. You can add a bass, synth, you know, anything. Like the possibilities are endless. But what I would usually do is start building my tune and then drag it across to like 33 bars. Then I know I've got the space there for the intro. Don't neglect intros. They are important. I mean, most of us don't hear them in a club setting because they're being mixed in but you can't beat a good intro, honestly. Like, listen to Noisia, Break, Spectrasoul, people like that, Alex Perez, Skeptical, their intros are always amazing. Put as much effort into that as the main body of your track. Also, don't set your expectations too high if you're new to this. It's taken me a long time to perfect my skills and to get to where I am at the moment. But, it's only through practice that you'll get better and learn more and watch more tutorials. So, your brain's going to get so big with all this knowledge you've got. Even now, I find it quite easy certain tunes are easier than others, but there'll be times where the tune will just write itself and it will be so easy to figure out what comes next. So, in the next sort of 32 bars, that something's got to change. In your mind, maybe you already have like a picture, like a musical picture of how you want this track to sound. Yeah, sometimes they're a lot easier than others. Other times you have to take a break and then come back to it the next day. Still might not be working the next day, so you come back to it like a week later and then you just give up. But some tunes they aren't meant to be, and the sooner you come to terms with that, then the sooner you'll be able to move on and start something new, or even just take sounds out of that other one that you couldn't work on and then just start a new track from that. Like, I've done that. I've heard loads of other people do that as well, like just recycle sounds. You might notice in some tunes that like you really like, you might notice like a bass sound that they've used already and you'll be like, oh, I recognise that. And another thing is writer's block. So if you experience writer's block, don't be mad, right? Because we all go through it and it's nothing to worry about, because it's just a natural thing to happen for a creative person. It happens. When it does happen, just do something else. I'm sure most of you will have other things you like to do in life, other creative ventures that you do. If not, go outside, do some exercise, go hang out with a friend. But yeah, you can always revisit whatever you're working on and come back to it another time, and hopefully your brain will be in a better mindset to sit down and work on it. But yeah, don't fret about having writer's block, because it happens to the best of us. I know some producers that I'm fortunate enough to say that are my friends. They go through it all the time. It's inevitable, really, when you work on as much music as they do. You're just not a machine, you're not a robot. You're only human, so you can only do what your mind and your creativity levels let you do. If you are feeling like you can't work on a track, then definitely try and write some of your own sounds and save them in like a little folder. So you got your own library basically of music. Well, not music, but sounds you can use in your own music. I've got a huge pack from like 2015 that I still go back to, because I feel like that was a period in my life where I was super creative and I had just learnt how to use FM8, so I was going in on FM8. So yeah, definitely try and make some sounds. If you don't know how to use something, learn how to use it. And I need to take my own advice there, because there's stuff I'm not like super fluent in. Try and write a different genre of music as well. That definitely helps. Like when I can't write drum and bass, I'll either go do something else that's creative, or I'll try and write some dubstep or some like, I don't know, 130 sort of dance music stuff, or yeah, it could be anything. Set yourself a challenge, try and write some pop music or like a rock song or something, anything that will get your creative juices flowing and keep your mind active, because that's most important. Definitely work out in your DAW how to set up templates, because templates have saved me a lot of time over the years. I have mine set up where I've got kick, snare, hats, percussion, two auxiliary channels for mid basses, sub, and then I've got like an effects and Atmos channel. So if you have that already set up, then you don't have to create those every single time you open a new project. So yeah, definitely look up how to do that in your DAW, like whatever program you use. And if you're new to it all, then don't forget that there's loads and loads and loads of tutorials that are out there on YouTube, and even things like Sample Genie, like drum and bass artists upload samples and I think videos to Sample Genie as well. So I think you can pay for a subscription for that. So definitely look into that if you can. So yeah, my inspiration usually comes from other samples. They might be my own, or they could be from like a sample pack. But as I said, there's nothing wrong with using samples if you're going to use them in a different way, or if you're going to manipulate them and make them sound different from the original, then that's absolutely fine. And also, there's no rules, you know. If someone says, oh, you can't do that, don't listen to that, you know. Just do whatever you want, but obviously don't take the samples completely out of the sample pack and try and pass it off as your own, because that's technically cheating. At least know how to use some of the plugins that are in your DAW, and yeah, use it to your advantage, man. Yeah, mine can come from like an effect sound or a synth or a bass, and then yeah, it just starts off as a loop and then you progress on that. So there's been a very, very few occasions where I have written tracks in one day. And I mean, some people that I know are like music making machines and they can write music in one day or 2 sittings and then it's done. Obviously, it's easier when you work with other people as well. When you're on your own, it's a little bit more difficult. But for me, it does take me a while, usually somewhere between a week and a month to finish a track. But it's good to be a perfectionist. Yeah, and also don't forget to get your feedback from people that matter. I mean, you wouldn't go and ask your mum for feedback on a drum and bass tune you've made because she'd say, oh yeah, that's really nice, dear, or something. You want to get feedback from your peers and people whose opinions you respect. So don't just ask anyone and everyone. But obviously show your mum because she'll love you for that. Moving on to labels. Some of you know that I've worked for Dispatch Recordings for quite some time now. It's actually been 6 years. And I started off doing that from being at university, and I was doing like a work placement, and I already knew Ant TC1 only from going to raves. So yet again, put myself out there, and I just asked him, have you got any sort of work that you could give me at the moment, because I just need to fill out this tick sheet for my uni module. And he was like, yeah, sure, like I'll hook you up with some stuff. And it was really simple, just making some YouTube videos and putting things on SoundCloud and stuff. And then it sort of progressed. My time had finished with my uni assignments. So I was like, you know, great, thank you for having me. I really appreciate that you took time to give me some of your jobs to do. And then he said that he'd like to keep me on, which was great. So my responsibilities kind of grew a bit. And then, yeah, eventually moved up to sort of assistant label manager, and I'm listening to like demos, liaising with artists, getting them to do mixes for us, still uploading stuff to SoundCloud. Yeah, like loads of random bits and bobs I do. One of the main things that is important to running a label is getting demos and getting new music. So if you're going to send your music to a label, here's my tips. So make sure you send your best 3 or 4 tracks that you've made, and don't write a massive paragraph because no one's going to read it. Just keep it short and sweet. Say who you are, where you're from, how long you've been writing music for, a little bit of, you know, history on you, but not too much, because I don't know, for some people it could be off-putting, but for me, when I see a huge paragraph, I'm like, whoa, I don't want to read that. I just want to get down to listening to the tunes. So make sure you send them. Some people are more fussy than others about the format in which you need to send, but I always prefer it if it is in a downloadable sort of file. So something either on SoundCloud that I can download, or like a Dropbox link or Google Drive or something like that. I don't like getting WeTransfer links. I'm not sure why, but I just don't. I think it's because I have to have the files on my computer to listen to them. Make sure they're appropriate for the label that you're sending them to. I have had many laughs listening through the dispatch demos at people who send like psytrance, gabba, techno, stuff like that. And I'm just thinking, do you even know anything about this label, or are you sending it to everybody? Don't waste anyone's time. Don't waste your own time. Don't waste our time by doing so. And yeah, just send your best music over, because you don't want to send anyone like half-written tracks, or definitely make sure they're finished as well. That's another point. Finished as in full length, so like something under 5 minutes or over 5 minutes, however long you want to write your music for. But yeah, full length track that's ready to go. If you were going to play it out in a club or send it to someone to play in a club, you know, ready for that sort of setting. And if the label feels like the track or tracks within it are worthy of sort of having a home on the label, then they'll get back to you. And if they don't get back to you straight away, don't be disheartened, because the chances are they're going to have a lot of demos to sift through before they find the little golden nugget of good music. So yeah, don't worry if it's taken like a month or a little bit longer than a month to get back to you. Just sit tight, and there's no harm in sending like a second email just to confirm that they received it or got it, but don't be pushy with your response. Like, I've read emails where people get like angry if they haven't had a response, and that's not the way to go. Like, just be polite about it. After all, you're trying to get your music on the label. You don't want to give them a bad impression of you. So just think about what you send before you send it. If you're female and you're just coming into this scene now, welcome. I want to personally say welcome to you. Sometimes there are idiots who don't make you feel welcome, or like you shouldn't be involved in music or even like drum and bass at all. But then there are like really lovely people, and I think the percentage of lovely people is far greater than the percentage of idiots who make you feel like crap. Obviously there's a couple that really stick out in my memory, but only because they were just bad. Like, nobody else has treated me like that. So you will experience people that try and like wear you down a little bit and test you, but that's good. You know, you're gonna get that in every walk of life. Even if you have a job in an office, I'm sure that there'll be people that you work with that you don't get along with. So it's just inevitable to face a few hardships along the way. Don't beat yourself up if you get angry or upset about it, because that happens to everyone. The only thing that the only bit of advice I guess I could give you is that just try and take it on the chin, and it's probably them that's got something else going on in their life where they feel like they need to sort of lash out a bit. So yeah, don't take it to heart, because it's a minor. You'll get over it. If you've got skill, determination and passion in what you do, then that's going to shine through like all day, every day. That other stuff won't matter at all. There's so many good networks right now, like especially on Facebook, to help girls that are DJs, people that are promoters, you know, just girls involved in music in general, like the Hospital Records one. I always see girls posting up mixes in there, which is really nice to see. It's a really big community. You'd actually be surprised how many women are involved, like as DJs and behind the scenes. So yeah, if you're a guy and you've got a girlfriend, a sister, cousin, whatever that's learning to mix, just make sure you're supportive of what they're doing and encouraging, and yeah, just boost them up and make them feel welcome. If you're a guy and you've got girl mates that are DJs and like you're at a house party or something, let them on the decks. Don't hog the decks, you know. I hate that. Like, that used to happen to me so much when I was younger. I'd go to house parties and guys would let me mix because they thought I wasn't that good, until I got on the decks, and then it's like, oh rah, you're actually really good for a girl. I hate that. guys, please stop saying that, because it's just really patronising. Girls can be good at anything they want, so just be nice about it. You don't have to say, "Ooh, you're a girl." And if you're a girl and you got girl mates that are DJing and you're already a DJ, be supportive of them as well. I love seeing girls going out there smashing it. It's really encouraging, and it makes me feel like I'm part of this big family now, which is cool. So yeah, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you very much for tuning into my video and another episode of Be Brave, Be Kind, Create for Urban Creative, which is Mr. Tempster's label. He makes these awesome shirts and a lot of other cool merchandise as well, so definitely check that out. We'll put a link below. If you're not following me on socials, I'm going to link all my social links down below as well in the description. So yeah, thanks for watching again, and big ups, and keep safe, look after yourselves. See you later.